Let me tell you something. Unless a church today experiences persecution, I doubt that's a church that's really a church. Do you understand that? Jesus said, look at it in John 15. He says very clearly what this is all about. He says, this is Jesus, if the world hates you, you know that it hated me before it hated you. If you were of the world would love its own. But because you are not of the world, but I chose you out of the world, because of this, the world hates you. That's from the lips of the Lord Jesus Christ. Now, persecution isn't what we think it is many times. You may be familiar with the story of the gospel blimp. It's a story of a small town that wanted to tell everybody about Jesus. And so they bought a blimp. And they wrote on the side of the blimp, Jesus saves. And they pulled banners behind that blimp, telling people to go to church, telling people they're going to hell without Christ. And they flew over the little town. They dropped tracts, leaflets out, telling people how to know Christ. Then finally, that wasn't enough. They got a loudspeaker. And they went around preaching 8 hours a day to this little town, shouting from the gospel blimp overhead. Finally, the people had enough. And so they passed an ordinance, a law, that they could not infringe on the privacy of people the way they were doing it, in a very obnoxious way. And then somebody sabotaged the blimp. And they met in church and they said, oh, we're being persecuted for righteousness' sake. No, they weren't. To be righteous means that we live as Christ.